South Carolina is home to 7 units of the National Park System. The Palmetto State is awash with Revolutionary and Civil War history and is headlined by the flagship floodplain forests of Congaree. This is also my home state, and I'm very excited to share our parks with you, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We'll start with the aforementioned flagship, Congaree National Park. Located smack dab in the middle of the state, Congaree protects North America's largest remaining old-growth hardwood bottomland forest. I know that's a mouthful, but it's just a fancy way of saying that this is a very large, very old forest that grows almost entirely within the floodplain of the Congaree River. This is also one of the tallest broadleaf forests in the entire world. And sadly, this is an ecosystem that used to be way more prevalent in the southeast before we cut and drained a lot of these forests. That's actually one of the reasons why Congaree is so special, in fact. It's like the last true remnant of what should be one of the southeast's dominant premier ecosystems. Basically, the way this ecosystem works is when the Congaree River floods, those floods spread out into the forest and bring with them a whole bunch of nutrients from the river, which creates very super nutritious soil, very rich growing conditions for the entire forest. Congaree's other claims to fame include Synchronous Fireflies and the infamous mosquito meter. Now, we're going to be focusing on history parks from here on out, so let's move down to the coast to Charleston. We've got 2 MPS sites there. Fort Sumter and Fort Moultrie National Historical Park is the first. These are 2 forts that are administratively combined into one park, and both were instrumental in the defense of Charleston Harbor at various points in history. Fort Sumter is famous for being the location where the first shots of the American Civil War were fired, and Fort Moultrie was actually a Revolutionary War era fort first, which survived a British bombardment because it was built out of absorbent palmetto logs, hence South Carolina becoming the Palmetto State. The other Charleston site is Charles Pinckney National Historic Site, preserving the former home and plantation of the founding father Charles Pinckney. Pinckney was one of the principal authors of the U.S. Constitution and a longtime South Carolina politician. This site is all about interpreting his life, his contributions to South Carolina and the United States, and the history of slavery, because this was a plantation. Staying on the coast, but moving south to Buford, we've got South Carolina's newest NPS unit, Reconstruction Era National Historical Park. This park is less a single site and more a series of disconnected sites spread out throughout the region, all of which together, though, interpret the history of the Reconstruction era of American history following the Civil War. This is the first NPS site in the country to do that. And now we'll start to move to the state's interior. First up, there's 96 National Historic Site. This park interprets 2 main eras of history. There's the colonial backcountry era, when this site served as a major frontier outpost in like the mid-1700s. There's also some indigenous history interpreted here from this time period due to the conflicts with the Cherokee tribe that occurred here. And then there's the Revolutionary War era. 96 was the first place outside of New England to see battle back in 1775, but then the bigger part of its war history has to do with the Southern campaign of the American Revolution, when the longest field siege of the war took place here in 1781. Revolutionary War sites are actually very common in South Carolina, and the final 2 MPS sites we're going to talk about are both protecting battlefields from this era. Kings Mountain National Military Park protects the site of another major battle in the Southern campaign. In fact, Thomas Jefferson referred to the Battle of Kings Mountain as the quote-unquote turn of the tide of success, and was the first American victory in the South following the British invasion of Charleston in May 1780. And then in January 1781, the Battle of Cowpens took place, another American victory, which is considered to be the turning point of the war in the South and part of the ultimate series of events which led to the American victory at Yorktown. This site is protected today as Cowpens National Battlefield. And there you have it, all 7 NPS sites in South Carolina. Being from the Palmetto State, I've been to all of these. They're all very special to me. I go to Congaree probably like 20 times per year to paddle and hike. But really, South Carolina's NPS sites are heavily history focused, which of course I also like, a big history guy. Let me know in the comments down below which ones you've been to and which one is your favorite. As always, direct support over on Patreon is always appreciated. Doing a channel like this and talking about national parks in the way that I talk about them isn't always super algorithm friendly, so I do rely a lot on the support of my community to keep these productions afloat. Lots of good perks over there on Patreon in exchange for your support, Discord access, trip reports, things like that. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.